Okay, today is September 1st, 2014, Labor Day. So hopefully everybody have enjoyed their weekend and getting ready to go back trading tomorrow. So let's take a look at the market and also some of the momentum stock. And at the end, we take a look at a few more of these trading idea on a couple of these biotech stock. So starting off with the S&P 500, you see S&P 500 continue to make a new all-time high. Although it put in a little bit of a, what we call a shooting star type of a candle here, then you again start hearing people talking about correction. But as I have reminded in the past that when we look at candle, just looking at a single candle doesn't tell too much. You have to look at it in the context of the candle pattern along with that single candle. So you can see here after this, shooting star type of a candle, put in a little bit of a doji hammer. And some people might categorize this as a hangman, but the hangman is not in the right position, so we cannot categorize that as a hangman. Then once again, they put in another doji hammer, and this kind of tells us that it, might get a little bit of a snapback, in which we did on Friday. So right now we're still targeting the S&P 500 to somewhere around this 2030 area. Okay, so just kind of keep an eye on that. And then on the Dow Jones 30, we've been saying that even though the Dow Jones have reclaimed the 17,000, we expect it to chop around with that level for a little bit before it, go and try to put in a new high. And you can see that last week it made a couple of attempts to try to get above that new closing high here, but it failed to do so. And now it came down with this little hammer, and also we got a little bit of an inside bar here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see, when everybody get back from the Labor Day holiday, we might get a little surge and push this index to a new all-time high. And as I said many times before, the market doesn't top until the Dow Jones top. I'm not saying that this particular new all-time high will signal, a top here. We just have to keep an eye on it, because basically we're looking for this upper trend line, and it will be somewhere around this 17,600, 17,700 level, and that's basically what we are trying to keep an eye on for the Dow 30. Then in the Nasdaq 100, the Nasdaq 100 put in a little bit of a hangman doji here, but again, I don't believe that this index is still going to go higher because of the iPhone 6 and also the Alibaba IPO. I think that's going to fuel some of the tech sector a little bit more. And if we go back and look at some of the level that we're basically looking at, for possibility is to come back. Let me go back to a monthly basis here, and essentially we're targeting somewhere around this particular level here on this candle back on back in 2000, and this level is somewhere around 41.47. So essentially we're looking at somewhere around this 41.50 here. Okay, so that's what we're looking at for the potential of getting up to somewhere around this 127 extension, on this particular fib line near this 41.60. So that 41.50 is pretty much in the card here, that we just kind of keep an eye on that. Then the outperformer for the last week or so has been the Russell 2000. Remember, the Russell 2000 been lagging, and right now it seems to be catching up to some of the other indexes. And right now, essentially, we're basically looking for it to come up and tag this level. It could reclaim this level somewhere around this 1190. Then there's a good chance that it could come up and take out, or at least retest the previous all-time high on the Russell 2000. So, we've been saying that if the Russell 2000 hold above this, this particular 1180, 82 level, then there's a good chance that it will come up and try to put in a new all-time high or retest that. Okay, so that's basically the market. I think the trend is still up. Look for further upside on the market here, but again, it is getting to that state that maybe we're building a little bit of euphoria. So you kind of have to be careful on that and don't get carried away, like on the other post that I put out so still be a little bit defensive. Always trade your plan. So let's take a look at some of the stock. And first of all, let's take a look at Apple. As you see, Apple continue to trend higher along this little channel here, and we're still looking at this target of somewhere around the upper 103 to 104 area, up in this price channel. So with the iPhone 6 due to be released, or at least everybody's kind of expecting it to be announced to be released not a week from tomorrow. So we just have to see how they run this thing up. And Apple could be another case that that it will sell on the news. Once an announcement, then we see maybe Apple will have some profit taking on Apple. The other one is Netflix. Netflix been also been holding up very strongly. You see that it's kind of holding up on this weekly trend line, and it made a little surge, and it came up and put in a new all-time high as well. And with the Fibonacci retracement, we'd be surprised to see Netflix to continue to trend higher and possibly get up to this 525, 526 level. So you might want to keep an eye on that. Although you see that they're kind of low, it seems like on this little pullback, kind of form a little flag here. So you might want to check that out and keep an eye on that little bull flag. And the guy that's been weak is Google. Although it's still trending along this trend line here, but it is making this little bit of a lower high, and also with all the other stock like Apple, Netflix making new high, and also the Nasdaq 100 making multi-year high, and Google is not getting up there. So that's kind of a little bit of a sign that maybe Google is getting a little weak. So the key level to watch here is this trend line here. If we break this trend line, be careful and watch this 570 level, because we really want to see this 570 level here. Okay, see what the oops, got the wrong stock on there. Let's get back to Google. This 570 here. Okay, so we want to make sure that it be able to hold about this. So right now the key level to watch is this trend line here, and see can it hold above that trend line. And we really need to see Google to come back and we take this 597 area, I believe, somewhere up there. So, and then on Amazon, ever since the earning gap, Amazon been holding up very well and kind of recuperating quite nicely, because once it got back up above this earning gap here, and you can see that it's trending higher, it seems to be working itself up to fill this gap here. So kind of look at that. It seems to be, found some support at this level. There was testing that, and just kind of keep an eye on that. There seems to be a little bit of a shooting star, but it's holding up nicely here. And I wouldn't be surprised, maybe consolidate a little bit and then still resume higher and get up to this particular gap here. Then the other one that's been really strong is Tesla. You can see Tesla has been holding up against this trend line, and it's spoke to a new all-time high. And right now it seems to be trending up, might be coming up to attack this level somewhere around the 282. So definitely this is one of the strong stock that have been running. And then the other one that we want to look at is some of the biotech, looking at CELG. CELG has also been quite strong. You see that it's broken out of this 90 50 area, and it's right now it's trending up, kind of got a little bit of a pullback, and seems to found some support somewhere around this 94 area. If it continue to pull back, maybe it will pull back to this 92 and possibly this 90, but it's looking for it to continue to move up to this somewhere around the 97, and also to the 100, which is the 127 and 141 extension respectively. And then Gilead is also another, fairly strong biotech company that's been, trending nicely. And if we go back and take a look at Gilead a little bit, back in time here, as you can see here is this, look like a little bit of a inverted head and shoulder. And you see this is, this major move is 100%. So essentially it traces out that 100% move here. And if you notice, it seems to be forming a little bit of a pennant here, right? So it kind of got a little bit, possibly a bull pennant. And if we use that as a major move here and drag that up and try to get a little bit of a projected move, and you can see that we're talking about maybe somewhere around this 125. Okay, but but at least even if we just take a look at the Fibonacci retracement out of this particular breakout here, we could at least see it somewhere around this 113, 114, and possibly 116 area. Okay, and that's also in pretty high up on this new high territory. So you just got to be careful on these stock here. Then the other one is pharmaceutical. That's pretty interesting. It's kind of got this little baseline here. And again, if we take a look at how it got there, you see this trading band here. Okay, and if we look at this trading band and do a major move here. Okay, so we do this. Let's get it down to this low here. You can see this, major move. This is the 100% major move. It sort of tagged that right now. It's sitting up against this baseline, right? And it seems to be building up a little bit of a wedge or ascending triangle. And it could be a little bit of a flag as well. So it's all depending on how you look at it. And if you just simply do a Fibonacci retracement and do extension, you could get these, maybe a 127 up at the 135, 141, 140, and then, basically get up to this pivot on this 141. But if we do a major move on this pennant or a flag, or whatever you want to call that, then it could get up to the previous high here, up at this level, somewhere around this 152. And on the 80% mark, basically, getting up to this gap here. So those are some of the levels that you might want to keep an eye on. And even though, might be a little bit too optimistic or looking too far ahead, but at least we could, look at these possible level here at 135 and, 140, 141 for pharmaceutical. And then the other one is Horizon. Okay, so you can see that I believe this is a earning gap that came down. You see that the earning gap, and right now it seems to found some support here. Let me go back and do this chart. It seems to be found some support somewhere in this area, right? So if we come back here, right? So it seems to be able to find the support level, and right now it's kind of come back up here to this earning gap and try to break through and possibly get in to fill this gap. But before we get down to fill this gap, we might see maybe it could encounter some resistance up here near the 12 level. So you might want to keep an eye on that, because you can see that also we have a sort of an inside day on Friday. So if it could get above this pivot, high here, that would be another positive sign that this thing might be heading up to fill this gap here. So those are the few ideas and a review of the market and some of the momentum stocks. So hopefully you will have a profitable week on your trading.